I'm Patrick Bailey with whiteboardcoder.com. Today is September 4th, 2015, and today I'll be teaching you some command line Linux. I hope this is the first of many videos I'll make showing how to use Linux for those new to it. First up, I'm going to dive into CodeAcademy's new 3-hour course, Learn the Command Line. But I'm just going to dive into it for 15 minutes. Now, I've barely opened up this tool and gone through it, so I don't know how good it is or how great it is. But we'll dive into it here in a minute. But before I do, I want to go over a little bit about the history of Linux and really the history of Unix, just a little bit to help you understand kind of where its roots are, and it'll probably help you understand how it'll feed into how it really works. Now, from some of the history, Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie are two of the guys who implemented the first Unix system back in, I guess, the late 60s, early 70s. Now, I found an interesting passage here in a book I've just recently started reading called Unix for Programmers and Users. I got it at a used bookstore. It's from 1993. It's a little bit older, but they actually have a newer version of it from 2003. But I want to read a passage from it that I think is rather interesting. Okay, talks about Ken Thompson here. And Ken was interested in building a video game called, well, he says Space Wars, but actually I found it was actually called Space Travel, which required a fairly fast response time. So he was trying to make a video game, or get a video game working, I guess. And the operating system that he was using was called Multics, and for multi, but it didn't give him the performance that he needed. So he decided to build his own operating system, which he called Unix, because the uni, like unicycle, one. And the part of the name implied that it would do one thing well, as opposed to doing multi, like part of the Multics name, which he felt tried to do too many things without much success. So the Unix part of it, I think I want to emphasize that, because if you get into Linux, and you start doing command line stuff, you'll find all these little command line tools that only do one thing, but they do it really well. And they do that one job, and they can pipe that information. After they process something, they can pipe what they process to another job that does another job really well. And hopefully, as we go through this, you'll start to see some of these little simple commands, and I'm guessing they'll pipe things around, and hopefully you'll learn a lot just going through this CodeAcademy. And CodeAcademy is free, and so it's going to be a really cool tool, I think. And I just got an email about it just like a week ago, and I think it's going to be a great tool. And if you're unfamiliar with Linux, I think it's going to be it's a great place to start. I'm hoping. I figure it would, because the CodeAcademy guys they know what they're doing. They have a great JavaScript tutorial. But anyway, enough of that. Okay, so let's dive into this. So here, I'll zoom in on the URL here, CodeAcademy.com. If you don't have an account there, I already have one, so I can't walk you through how to set one up, but I'm sure it's relatively easy. So set up your account, and here they should list some courses, and one of them will be Learn the Command Line. And I've already opened it up, so it says I've gotten 5% of it done, but I'll click on this and we'll start back at the beginning. And to keep myself honest here, I've got a hand timer here I'll start that has 15 minutes. So we'll just go 15 minutes, and I may do some commentary while I'm doing this stuff. Of course I'm going to do commentary. I talk too much as it is. But we'll just do the 15 minutes, and we're not going to go through the whole course, because you should. So let me go click on continue here. And I'll go back. Let's get back to the beginning, I guess. Go back to the beginning. Oh, view exercises. Your first command. There we go. Come on. Try to get back to the beginning. Okay. We're going to go over a few things here. A file system organizes. Oh, to get my stuff here ready. Well, hopefully I'm at the beginning here. If not... Okay, a file system organizes the computer files directories into a tree structure. Most of you are probably familiar with a tree structure on your system, where you have your folders and files, and that's kind of how Linux is no different than that. However, in Linux, everything really is a file, and that's kind of how they treat things. So I guess let's go one by one. So let's see how to navigate the file system. I don't think I'm at the beginning. Nah, I'm not at the beginning. That's not right. There we go. Go back. Your first command. There we go. The first command. Okay. Now, before I dive too much into this, the command line, you might think of it as old, you might think of it as rusty, you might think of it as a bygone era, but it's not. A lot of work is done in the command line, and actually once you get familiar with it and you know what you're doing, you can do so many things so much faster on your keyboard than you can with a mouse. And it takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, but there's a lot of things you can do. Okay. So there's some rigmarole. The command line is a text interface, Okay, so little instructions there on what's going on. So here we have our terminal, or a virtual terminal. So there's our command prompt, and it says us to type ls, which is list. So that will list whatever's in that directory. And it looks like we have two folders in here, 2014, 2015, and a file called hardwaretext.txt. Okay. Oh, I guess you can report bugs if you see something, but right now, right now we're probably, who knows how they set it up behind the scenes, but this probably isn't really Linux. It's probably just faking it for us, but it'll still teach us. It'll still work like it should. So click next. Let's we can do ls again, I guess. So there's our file. It talks about that being our prompt, and ls, lists. Okay, and there's the directories 2014, 2015, and hardware.txt. And okay, same thing I just said. Okay, now file system. So here it's talking about the file system. So if you're unfamiliar with Linux at all, well, of course you should be. This is the very bottom of the folder structure would be /, and then underneath that there should be some files. So we'll just follow their instructions. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So we're using the pwd. So there's a command called pwd, which you would think I would know what that means. Usually these commands are shortened for something, and pwd is, I should know that. Pwd basically tells you where you are right now. So even though we don't see that before, we don't see anything special about the command prompt, type in pwd will list exactly where we are, and we happen to be in home/cz user/workspace/blog. So and if you go down to the base directory, there's a home directory, a home folder. In the home folder, there's a folder called cc user. In the cc user folder, there's a folder called workspace, and then in the workspace folder, there's a folder called blog. Real exciting. The pwd command is a good command to keep around. Oh, there we go. Print working directory. Hey, something I should know. Print working directory. Okay, so we got that. Print the working directory. Okay, so here they give these instructions for you, and so they're kind of nice. You do them one at a time, and they guide you through if you're unfamiliar with CodeAcademy. And so we list all the files with ls, and then type cd, which is change directory. So we're going to change directory into the folder called 2015, and we got that done. And we're done with this section. Okay, go on next. And let's see. Okay, yeah, cd stands for change directory. Oh, we want to change it. I guess we went back. Well, let's see where we are. We've gone to a new screen, and they kind of put us back to the blog directory. So let's change into the 2015. Oh, change into the 2015 directory again. Oh, and I guess there's some stuff in here. Okay, so change into the January directory. Now, you don't have to stop right there. You can, if there's subdirectories, you can just list them all out like that. So memory, and you don't have to put the / here, but they are, so I won't, and see if it works. Yep. So now we can see we're all the way down there. Now if you type cd ... means relative to where I am, go back up my directory tree 1. And so now, oh hey, I earned a trophy, hooray. Click next. Okay, so now, we want to get back in that directory, so cd jan memory. Oh, looks like they did it both ways. They did it with, oh, wait, pay attention. Okay, instructions. Change the directory to 2015. 2015 February. And scroll down automatically, good. And then we're going to make a directory. So mkdir stands for make directory. And we'll make a directory called media. Okay. And it's happy. And we can go click on next to the next section. Make directory stands for make directory, yeah. Navigate to 2014 December. This is a simple command, but it gets used a lot. You'd be surprised. There's a command called touch, and you can do touch keyboard text, and what that will do is it'll create a file for you called keyboard.txt with the current date, but it'll just be empty. And you can actually use that. I have to go look at the touch command. There's a way to set the date, so you can actually change the date of files. You can actually touch files that exist right now. So whenever you actually touch a file, it actually gets updated with today's date as if it was made right now. So if you're doing some strange thing and you need that file to look like it's been changed today, you can touch it. Okay, click next. Let's see, touch the keyboard. Instructions. The commands we covered so far are commonly used to navigate the file system. Okay. Let's summarize what we've done so far. Okay, the touch command. Okay, it's just a summary. Click next. You've learned 5 commands. Good. pwd. Print work directory. Yeah, should have known that. You take these commands for granted sometimes. You forget where they come from. Okay, click next. Let's see. Type ls. Okay. And there you go, ls-a. Once you start doing commands, a lot of commands, what you do, if they have additional things that they can do or parameters, you have a dash. In this case, if it's a single letter, you'll have a single dash, and dash a. Sometimes you have 2 dashes, and then you have a whole word here, but that's another case. But anyway, dash a is a config is something, and so that's going to list out everything. So that'll actually even list out the hidden files. So here you can see this dot preference file, which is usually hidden. But that's even the way in Windows. If you put a dot in front of something, you can hide files so you don't normally see them. So they're kind of out of the way. So it also, yeah, exactly what I said. It lists the dot files. And there you go. Good. It's going through all these details. That's perfect. So the dash A is called an option. Perfect, perfect. Good instructions. And so they're going to show you some more stuff. So there's dash A, dash L, dash T. Okay, so it's just showing you that there's other options. So that's the long format, which I usually use a lot. In fact, I usually use ls-alh. Let's see if it actually works. Oh, it worked. Okay. L for the long, A gets you the hidden files, and H makes it human readable. So rather than see this 4096 bits, you see 4K. Okay. Next. Okay, so far I'm liking what they're doing. It's really simple. They're doing a good job. Oh, now we're talking about access rights. Good. Yeah, talking about the access rights, number of hard links, number of counts. Yeah, so let's do ls and navigate to the company directory, so change directory. ls-alt. Let's see. Okay. And so they're explaining some of the parts on here. So you'll see here's the user permission. So this file is owned by this is the users, CC users, and this is the group. So permissioning is more complex. Hopefully they'll explain it as things go along, but they're slowly introducing the stuff to you. So nice, good job. Next, the -t options orders the files and directories by the time they were last modified. Good to know. It's not what I usually use, so it's not in my memory bank. But time one. Okay, let's move on to copying. Okay, so now they're letting you figure things out a little bit. So CD into drama and biopic, and then type. Okay, CD into CD copy. This is the copy command. CP for copy, and I guess there's a. Let me check. Yep, there's a Frida.txt, so we're going to copy Frida.txt into Lincoln.txt. Oh, Lincoln.txt already exists. So we're going to be overwriting Lincoln.txt. It won't create a new file, it'll just automatically overwrite it that quickly. Okay. Next. I got about a minute left here on my 15 minutes. There are a few more ways to use copy. Okay, see the drama. And copy. So you can copy things down. So we can copy we're going down a folder. So in the folder, biopic, Cleopatra, and we're going to copy that to, and you just tighten, you need the slash because you're going to copy it to the directory and not overwrite the directory. And so now we can go into historical, and we should see that Cleopatra is in there. And we also should be able to go down and see that it's also in the biopic directory because we didn't remove it, we just saw it. And you can list things in directories. So ls, go down one directory, and then up into the biopic directory. Anyway. Okay. Navigate to, where am I? So I'm in drama historical to drama. Okay, I just went back down to drama. And then type copy biopic ray.txt into biopic notorious.txt and historical. You know, it's not something I usually do, copying one file into multiple places. Never thought that you could do that, but yeah, you can do it. Looks like my time's up. But let me finish this lesson up. So let me change into historical. Oh, I already did. Anyway, so there's my 15 minutes. So far, so good. It's a 3-hour course. It's free. Go do it so far. It looks pretty good to me. And if you're new to Linux or you want to learn some more, or even if you're old to Linux, there's so much to Linux. Like, I didn't know, I couldn't remember the -t. I mean, I'm sure I could go look it up, but I don't usually sort things by time. But there's that ls-t that I just happen to not know that option off the top of my head. I like it. Go check it out. CodeAcademy is free. And one of the reasons I'm trying to go over this right now is I'm trying to put some stuff together for the Intel Edison. And the Intel Edison is Linux, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who know how to code on Arduino and different things like that, but aren't familiar with Linux and the command line, and there's so much stuff you can do with it. Anyway, go sign up for this CodeAcademy class, take it, it's free. Having gone 15 minutes into it, gets my approval. Anyway, and it looks like it's really well done. They've done a really great job. But I would be shocked if they didn't, because they did a really great job on their JavaScript tutorials. Anyway, that's it for this. I hope you liked it. Hope you found it useful. And I hope you go to CodeAcademy and start learning how to do Linux command line stuff. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like. To subscribe, just click the subscribe button. Also, you can follow me on Twitter under the handle @whiteboardcoder.com. View any code I may have thrown up as a gist at GitHub under the username PatmanDenver, or check out my blog site at whiteboardcoder.com.